don't do a lot of tags, but I saw this one on Mark's channel from the book thing, and I really enjoyed his video, and I thought, yeah, I'm gonna give that a go myself. So this is about whether our tastes in books align, and there's some questions I've got here, and I will link the original creators of these questions in my description bar as well. But let's just get straight into them. Okay, question 1 is, how do you rate books? Okay, I find star ratings really hard. Like, I do use them currently, but I find them hard because I find that they take away the nuance of what I'm saying. I think it's more important to have a discussion about a book, to give a proper review, say how a book made you feel, and I think when you plonk that star rating on the end sometimes, it can be the only thing that some people take from it. They're like, oh, okay, like you said all this and you gave all these good points, but then you said it was a 3.5 or a 4 or whatever it was. And it dampens that nuance. However, I do use them because I kind of feel like it's almost expected in this space. The other thing that I find with them is that everyone rates so differently. So for me, to get a 5-star, it has to be something that like has my heart, something that is so close to me, it gives me that 5-star feeling. So there's a really high bar there, which is why if you watch my channel, you'll note that a lot of books that I really enjoy get a 4 or a 4.5 because it's so hard to get a 5-star from me. So if I give a 5-star, just know that like that book truly blew me away. Question 2. How do you approach reviewing books? What's your review style? Are you analytical, emotional, casual, or structured? Yes. Okay, I'm a very analytical person, but I'm also a very emotional person, and I think both of these things come through in my reviews. I try and think about what information that you as the reader might want to hear, as well as give my emotional and personal take on it, which is obviously going to be highly subjective, as all of our opinions are. And in general, I'm a more structured person, so I try and structure the reviews, but I'm also kind of a chaotic person. I'm sorry if that's not a very cohesive answer, but look, I'm not a very cohesive person, okay? Question 3. What's the book that made you a reader? Yeah, I feel like I'm one of those people that came out of the womb reading, so it's kind of hard for me to pin this down. When I was very young, I read A Series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket, and I absolutely adored those books, and I think they really did get me into reading a lot more, at least. And then this is going to be pretty stereotypical answer, but then it was the Harry Potter books. I absolutely adored them, and you know, I was one of those people, you know, queuing at midnight to get the books, and we just don't get that anymore, you know. It's just not the same now. I feel like an old lady, like, oh, back in my day. But it's true, we just don't get that anymore. Question 4 is, do you have a genre niche? I would say I read widely across all genres, really. Mostly I do read fantasy and literary fiction, dark academia, anything with like a gothic setting, like I love that. I read a lot of subgenres of fantasy as well. I enjoy some romantasy books. There are some romance books that I enjoy as well, but it does have to be the right one. I would say just as a whole, contemporary romance, not all of it is for me, but I do enjoy some. Oh, I also love anything with like a historical element, particularly if it's Victorian, because I'm kind of obsessed with like the Victorian and Edwardian time periods, like just love it. So anything with those in. Question 5, do you generally prefer character driven or plot driven stories? Look, I want a mix, okay? If it's just plot, I can't, because I you know, I don't have that connection to the characters and I need that. But if it's just character driven, I'm kind of bored, so I'm gonna need there to be both. Question 6 is, what's a book you love so much that you don't care if others don't like it? Oh, there's definitely a few I could use here. You know what? It's ironic. The books I'm about to say aren't on my shelves right now because they are currently downstairs. And you know why they're downstairs? Because I was looking at quotes in them. Okay? That's how much I love them. Like, they are tabbed up. You know, I should just get them. You know, you're gonna want to see them. I would. I'm gonna get them. Okay, I've returned. A book that I love enough for everyone. One of them has got to be The Secret History by Donna Tartt. She's a masterpiece. She's amazing. Like, she's tabbed up. I adore this book, and I think Donna Tartt is an absolute genius. I mean, who can write a book where they tell you who is murdered and who has done it? Like, in chapter 1, or even in the prologue. I think it might even be the prologue, it might even be like the first sentence. And yet the suspense in this book, it is masterful. I mean, look, if you don't like it, you're wrong. But seriously, you are. Look, I get why someone might not like it. It's very, it's slow burn, and it's got a whole bunch of very pretentious, very unlikable people in this. Like, those are our main characters, like, they all suck. But it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter, because it's just, it's so compelling, and this is like slow burn, completely done right. So yeah, I don't care if people don't like this, because like, I adore this book. And another one, I can't just mention one, another one I feel that way about is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. And I absolutely adore this one, and I don't care who does and who doesn't, because I know why I relate to this. I relate to this because I am diagnosed with OCD, and this has OCD rep in it, specifically for contamination OCD, which is one of the subtypes that I have. I have like contamination OCD along with harm OCD and some other things. The author also has OCD. It's excellent rep. This book came to me at a really dark time, and it meant a lot to me, and the descriptions were so accurate, the descriptions of OCD and of anxiety, so I love it. And I've seen bad reviews of this where people refer to the main character as crazy. And frankly, that's exactly why books like this are needed, because it's nothing to do with being crazy. Like, this is really good mental health rep, and it's YA, but I read this as an adult. It's brilliant. I don't care. If you don't like this, again, like, you are completely wrong, you know, and you know, feel free to send me your opinions about this, your negative opinions, and if you want to send me those negative opinions, just post them into any trash can, and I'm sure it'll find its way to me, and I will have a look at it. Wow, she's spicy today. Anyway, next question. What's the book that you love so much that if someone else doesn't like it, you know your reading tastes don't align? Okay, I have a couple of books for this, and the very first one that comes to mind is right here, and it is Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. Oh, this book. I don't mean to be dramatic, but this book is part of me. It is ingrained in my DNA. It is part of my makeup. It is my soul ripped from my body and splayed across the page. Okay, Susanna Clarke, she sees into me, she sees who I am as a person, and she has put it in a book. I feel like this book is written for me. I just adore it, and I adore Piranesi as a character as well as a person. Like, I've reread this book, I think 4 times now. I have a quotes book with quotes from it in. I have it tabbed up. I just adore this, and I think if someone reads this and they hate it and they don't get it at all, it's a clear indication for me that our tastes are just, they're not going to align at all, and I don't understand how you could not like this book. It's pretty weird, okay? I will say that. I will say it's kind of weird. And look, if you start reading this and you read the first 15 pages and you think, what the heck is going on? Then that's very fair. And I would just say keep going. Push past that, because it's such a brilliant mystery, and the writing in here. Oh, also, Susanna Clarke has one of the chronic illnesses that I do. She has myalgic encephalitis, which I also have, ME for short. I don't know, I kind of feel like it kind of comes through in a way, and I just feel so connected to this book. Yeah, if you hate this book, I feel like our tastes probably don't align, but it's hard, isn't it? Because preferences are all over the place. And another book I think, if you hate, our preferences don't align, is 1984 by George Orwell. I don't even know what else to say other than, like, this is a total masterpiece. I absolutely love this book. I think everyone should read this book. This book blew me away. It's you know, it's like dystopian sci-fi. Yeah, I love George Orwell's writing, and it's another one, you know. And I could mention more, you know. I think, like, if you read this one, if you read White Tiger by Aravinda Adiga and you don't like it, our tastes probably don't align. If you read Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy and you are not a sobbing wreck, we may not align. Look at this. Look at this. This is just like tabs for where my tears were, you know? I adore this. So yeah, those books. If you hate any of those books, we may not have similar preferences. Next question is, what's in your trash pocket? So this is what books, tropes or themes that you know are bad, but you love them anyway. I kind of struggle with the concept of this just because I see the words guilty pleasure being applied a lot to books that are normally women's lit. I hate that term as a category, and romance books, and I feel like these things often get defined as like guilty pleasures when they shouldn't be. I could do a whole video on this. I guess like there are certain books that like I've really enjoyed that I know aren't brilliant writing. I read the Shopaholic series when I was a teenager and I just absolutely loved it. It's by Sophie Kinsella and I would reread it again now and have a great time. It's not my usual genre, like, to be honest, at all, but I just had such a great time with this book and I had such fond memories of them. And the weird thing is that I hate shopping. I don't relate to this main character at all, but there's something about the humour which is just really good. But they are like, you know, they're not serious books or anything like that. So I guess you could call that, but like I said, I don't really like the concept of a whole of having like guilty pleasures, you know? I mean, one of my all-time favourite books, which everyone always mocks, although a lot of people love, is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J Maas. I think this has good writing, has epic world building, and I'm willing to fight you about it, okay? No, I'm not. I was going to say, you know, like I'm willing to die on this hill, but like I'm also not. I'm also not willing to die on the hill. I'm willing to like maybe sprain my ankle on the hill, sprain my wrist on the hill, roll down the hill, whatever, but I'm not willing to fight you or die on the hill. But I will say, I love this book. This could have been included in one of the other questions that we just had. Basically, I'm including it here because it gets mocked a lot. Question 9 is, do you have any deal breakers in books? Something that, if present, immediately turns you off from a book? Yes. Badly written female characters. Like, don't do it to me. Don't give me r/men writing women. I can't be doing with it. Yeah, I will put your book down. I will put your book into the trash. No, I won't. But I will put it down and I will give it a pretty scathing review. So there. Yeah, I really don't like it when women are written badly. This is a reason, this is a super unpopular opinion, but I do not like Murakami books for this reason. Don't get me wrong, like he's an excellent writer, but he can't write women, and it's not just present in one book, so you can't tell me it's just the character in the book. No, it's him, and they even asked him about it in an interview. Like, I'll see if I can find the interview, but I watched an interview, they asked him about it, it was a female interviewer as well. She asks him if this is deliberate, and he's like, no, it's not deliberate. It's you know, it's just sexist. Yeah, I can't be dealing with it. Question 10. What's a strong opinion you have about a book released within the last year? Rose in Chains by Julie Soto. And unfortunately my strong opinion is that I hated this book. I hated it. And I really don't say that about many books. Like, I promise you, I hardly leave any book a 1-star review. But I hated this book so much. It was just awful. It was. And I've ranted about this book enough, so I'm not going to rant about it again here. It's in my Dark Romantasy reading vlog. The only thing I'll say is, if you're going to fill a world with Andrew Tates and you're going to make the world the most heinous world that you can possibly imagine, the most super patriarchal world, don't put a woman as the ruler, because it makes no sense. Like, I can't trust your world building anymore. I can't. And don't do a romance where the romance begins at 95%, because no. I don't want to rant again, okay? I don't want to do it. Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it, questions. I'm going to move on before I start ranting, because I don't want that. I don't want you to have to go through that, okay? Question 11, what do you look for in writing? What makes a book stand out to you? Okay, so for me, one of the things is going to be really beautiful lyrical writing, beautiful prose. I mean, this is one of the reasons I love This Is How You Lose the Time War. I adore that book. The prose in that, some people describe them as purple prose. They're not purple prose, they are just such gorgeous lyrical prose, and I just absolutely adore that. A book doesn't have to have lyrical prose. There's a lot of other books that I like as well, but if you have lyrical prose, like, I'm probably gonna eat that up. If you add poetry to your book as well, I'm gonna be loving that. Sorry, if the frame has just changed, it's because my memory card has just decided that it's just gonna give up the ghost. Like, oh, look mate, we'd all like to just quit our jobs halfway through and just give up, but some of us have to continue pushing through. So what was I saying? I was saying that I really like poetry in books because I love poetry. And an example of this is in One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. Just loved that, loved all of the poetry in there, and also like a gut punch, like an emotional gut punch or a clear social message, like tell me something, give me a message, make me see something from a different perspective, make me question my beliefs, you know. Like, and you know, speaking of emotional gut punches, I also like a restrained gut punch. So Kazuo Ishiguro, his books, they've all got such a restrained, like a restrained gut punch, like a restrained emotion, like just amazing depth but delivered so subtly, and I absolutely love that. So if you can do that on a book, if you can give me either the gut punch or the kind of restrained emotion, I'm probably gonna love it. Okay, question 12 is, how do you decide what to read next? Do you plan ahead, mood read, or follow external factors like hype, recommendations? And again, I would say yes, I do all of these things. I plan ahead to an extent. I do like to have some structure, but at the same time, I am such a big mood reader that if I plan completely, my brain just rebels, and it's not gonna do it. You know, if I have something too set in stone, I'm not gonna do it. So how I deal with this is I plan in a few reads, like 5 to 6 reads a month. And at the moment I've been doing this with my TBR jar over here, or occasionally with some tarot. And if I've just read a book and really loved it, and say it was like a gothic horror, then my brain's like, let's read more gothic horrors. So I go into a little phase of that, you know. Question 13, where do you get your inspiration for your BookTube content? Oh, I mean, one would be like, you know, my brain, where we all take inspiration from, and then another one would of course be other creators and like trends that you see going around that you think, oh, that's actually really interesting, or I think I have like a somewhat unique perspective on that. So yeah, like multiple sources. And you know, I haven't been on BookTube for very long, so there is part of you that's like, oh my god, like in a few years time am I gonna have good ideas still? Like how will I keep making fun and original content? But I was going to say I think I will, but that sounds really big-headed, doesn't it? But you know, I'm going to say it anyway, like I think I will. I think I'll come up with content. I think I'll be great. No. Yeah, it comes from, like I get inspiration from a lot of places, like other creators definitely, and just like my own little funky little brain, you know? 14, if you could make any book go viral right now, what would it be? Ooh, okay, so a book that I think deserves more attention. Okay, so there's no point trying to make some of my favourite books go viral because they already have, you know, books like Mistborn, they're already pretty viral, okay, and like I love them and so does everyone else. But I have got some books where I don't think people have heard of them, and these books are kind of close to my heart, and they are actually non-fiction books, and I think that these are books I would like to go viral so that people could be more understanding and more compassionate and just have more empathy for people. So I have some mental health related books here, and I have one called Pure O OCD. The reason I think things like this should be read and go viral is because I think it just gives a better understanding. So I am diagnosed with OCD. I found this book to be helpful, although not as helpful as a lot of therapy. But yeah, I think more people need to understand books like this so that we can stop saying like, oh, I'm so OCD, I put my pens in like a certain order, oh, I like things tidy. That's not what OCD is. And I wish people understood that, so I wish that books like this went viral. Sticking with, this isn't mental health, this is more to do with being neurodivergent. So I have some books here. These are some books I have on autism. I have Drama Queen, But You Don't Look Autistic at All. And then 2 books written by children, which are Can You See Me and The Reason I Jump, which is written by a non-speaking autistic boy. These books are really important. They are really important in going into the autistic experience and understanding what autism actually is. Full disclosure, I'm diagnosed with autism. Well, my diagnosis is actually Asperger's syndrome, which now just falls under autism now, under all of the redone criteria. And yeah, I find not many people understand it. It's there's still some people who think that being autistic means you don't have emotions or you don't have empathy, which couldn't be further from the truth, even if you don't express it the same. And I wish that books like this could go viral. I think they deserve to. I think that it's just a really important topic. And yeah, the last one is also very off the wall, and it's Paganism in Depth by John Beckett. It's another really misunderstood topic. When people say pagan, it gives them negative connotations a lot of the time. I've had all sorts of insinuations made about me for calling myself pagan. I practice Celtic paganism, and it's my entire business as well, by the way. I run a business centered around paganism. I write about paganism, I write about mythology. It's something that's really important to me, and this book is absolutely brilliant at explaining it. John Beckett explains paganism brilliantly and the principles of it, and I wish it could be more understood. I wish it could be understood that it's not some weird movement, and that it's not, oh my goodness, I've even been accused of being a devil worshipper. Like, no, how can you worship something you don't even believe in? I'm sorry, I've made this a little bit more serious now, haven't I? But and probably lost some subscribers too, because that always happens if I mention anything to do with paganism. It happened on my tarot video. Yeah, but you know, frankly, I don't want those people here anyway, and you know, I feel like they're gonna find out at some point. There's no point hiding. Like, you're gonna get found out as a weirdo at some point, so you might as well just be open with it from the start. Let people know. Though, you know, the people who aren't into it, they can go bye Felicia, whatever, you know. Question 15 are, who are some booktubers with reading tastes similar to yours? And I kind of wish I'd pre-planned this now because I feel like I could have given a better answer than this, because the reality is that I think it's really hard to find someone with your exact taste. There's so many people I watch, and the reality is that I don't watch people because we have similar tastes. I watch people for their personality. I watch for their enthusiasm about books, about what they love. I don't care if we don't align on what we like, and I'll try out things that they say, and especially if they speak with passion about it. And I just like hearing that. I like hearing people be passionate about things that they love. And yeah, so this one was actually, I think it's really hard to answer. And honestly, there's been a few booktubers where I thought, oh yeah, our tastes really align, and then they'll pick up a book that I love and rate it 1 or 2 stars, and I'm like, okay, our tastes don't align as much as we thought. Or vice versa, they'll say something as 5-star and I'll read it and be like, okay. Sorry if that is a bit of a cop-out, but like, I didn't plan this and I don't know. Anyway, I really enjoyed making this tag, and rather than tagging people, because I don't know if you want to be tagged, I will just say that if you're watching this and you have a channel and you want to do this tag, then I'm tagging you. I'm tagging you right now, okay? And I would love to watch your videos on it. So if you do a video like this, please let me know, because I am so nosy, okay? And I want to see it. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.